And welcome back everyone to game number 2 here between IMFirst and Acer'Scarlett for the second match here for Group N. We are going to have a Daybreak as our map here. Scarlett currently up 1-0 with a... I don't know what happened in that last game. It was like, make third base, cancel third base, make it again, cancel it, and then everything just went haywire. But either way, Scarlett won that game, so let's see if First can bring it back here. We do, of course, have Scarlett up here at the top right-hand corner as our purple Zerg. Going for it pull first because there is a pylon down here at the natural, of course. And then again, we have First down here at the bottom left as our red Protoss, and he's going to be going for that Forge Expand build. So, discounting what we saw last game, Daybreak is a very standard map for this matchup. Lots of back and forth usually. It does hit the late game quite a bit. Now, we did see very recently, we saw, I think it was Whale? Was it Whale? Versus Seed?
You have to give me more context on what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, it was when it was like just a really big macro game, and then it's just like one fight, pfft, dead. And I'm pretty sure it was Whale.
That was Whale and Seed.
Yeah.
But that was because he had his Broodlords and his Infestors in one big clump on the same spot, and they all got Vortex. Like,
yeah.
That was just Whale's mistake. But we have the double pylon block again. Scarlett did finally manage to get her hatchery down at the natural. Is still dancing with Probe at the third, but we'll finally chase it away now. It's picking away at the pylon with the Zerglings and Drone now. And it looks like she's just going to go straight into that hatch. It looked like First was in a really, really good position. Considering the map, he looked like he was in a spot where he was going to take the advantage if things had continued along the same road. And then I honestly don't know what happened with that Nexus. It had to have been a fat finger of some kind, but it's really difficult to
the escape key is like all the way up at the top left-hand corner of your keyboard. Like, unless he has really weird hotkeys, I don't know.
The only thing I can think of is he was meaning to cancel something else and still had the Nexus selected for some reason, but it's just one of those things that sometimes really gets to you. So hopefully First is still doing all right and not beating himself up too much over it, and we can see a good game here in game number 2.
Yeah. Well, either way, we're going to have 3 hatches up fairly quickly here for Scarlett, just like in the last game. She did do quite well at actually stopping the aggression coming in, and then just like 4 DTs instantly show up. She did get behind. Yeah. I think the game would have gone on a lot longer had First not done some weird stuff with his Nexus. But either way, we'll see how it goes this time.
Going back to that, don't we?
Yeah. Well, it's the defining moment of that game. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, but I don't know. She seemed to be having quite a few struggles with that Dark Templar. So, honestly, I would not be surprised if he does it again. Because that's the type of thing where generally people will be thinking about it, but they're not going to drop down random Sport Crawlers or make an early Overseer because you Dark Templared them the first game. People don't react like that to that kind of a strategy. So there is a decent chance that if he can sort of simulate the start of that last game and hold off early pressure just fine, to be able to do the same sort of thing again. We got 4 gateways on the way. So will we see a Twilight Council follow-up for this?
It's possible, but remember, he still did quite a bit of damage with that 4 gateway attack anyway in the last game. If he can catch her off guard, it should do well, but we do see 1 probe's been caught here on the left. We've got, which means there's going to be no forward pylon. The Stalker's coming up here. He's going to catch... Oh, is he going to get it? Yes, it is. It does get that creep Jimmy before it's made. That's very frustrating to have happen this early, but there's still only 1 Stalker and 1 Zealot. That's all it is. He might actually get this queen, but no, he's going to decide to back up.
He doesn't want to commit. He doesn't know how many Zerglings are on the way at the moment, or how many are actually in the field. He'd have to go very deep into the base to get there. Does give up the Zealot, but kills a couple of Zerglings for it. And, like, that was just being safe. He didn't know if he was about to be surrounded, so he just pulls back. Doesn't want to trade the Stalker.
Well,
now there are...
Scarlett's seen this pylon, actually, over here on the left-hand side for the follow-up. There's actually seen both of them with the overlord positions here. That's quite funny to actually have happen, so she's going to be completely safe against it.
There we go.
Oh, wow. What are you sitting up there for? That's really strange. But First is going to commit to this anyway. He's going to see the Zerglings and see the Roaches. Probably have to go back up completely. But the Roaches get caught behind this army. The reinforcements are coming through. Zergling speed is not done yet here, remember. So he's still going to be able to do a little bit of pressure with this. He needs to be really careful with his Stalkers, though, as they are off creep now. The Zerglings are going to be able to do it. But nice target firing here by First to try and pick off some of these Roaches. As he's just warped in 4 more Zealots, but they're straight into 3 Roaches here as well. So they're going to be cleaned up. They're just going to be kited to hell.
Scarlett is pretty confident in her ability to hold this off too, because there were 10 drones in the production tab there a second ago. And she is doing fine, so that could be a good assessment. She's kiting these zealots pretty well. These stalkers can't really go on creep, or they're going to take a lot of shots from the roaches. So it looks like that was just a really intelligent move there, realizing she could get away with throwing out a bunch of drones in the middle of this pressure. And back in the base of First right now, there's Twilight Council and a Warp Prism on the way. So we're going to have some Warp Prism aggression. We've been seeing a lot of Protest players using that to great effect so far in this tournament. And I love seeing the Warp Prism becoming more and more common, just because we've seen so many really cool tricks with it so far.
Yeah, that's very true. We do see, of course, that Scarlett is moving out across the map now, picking off all these extra pylons. Going to actually flank these Stalkers if First's not careful. There we go. He's going to go out to the north and be safe. With the Alair now finishing up, Scarlett's going to be in a really strong position. I'm not sure when First is planning to take his third base, but he's going to have 4 Stalkers in the main. Yeah, this has been shown effective as getting in there, picking off the Queens and getting out. Also getting some good scouting information at the same time. Has been spotted here, though. We do see, where's the rest of the army? There it is for Scarlett coming up. And here we go. So we're going to get in here. The Queen is definitely going to die. Nothing that she can do about that. Well, no, he's actually going to go for drones.
After the drones, which is curious, because the Queen is the only anti-air. If he could take out that Queen, he'd be able to fly around with the Stalkers and the Warp Prism and be supremely annoying. But Scarlett has chosen to throw down 1 Sport Crawler in her main. I'm curious to see if she's going to follow that up with another one at the natural in the third, because we have seen that bouncing between these bases in the past can be quite effective.
Yeah.
But this Warp Prism is getting free scouting in the center of the map, because there's absolutely no anti-air with this army of Scarlett. So he knows exactly where the army is. There are 4 Stalkers in this Warp Prism, but hey, you know, whatever you can use to scout the army, right?
Well, we do see observers coming across the map now as well. And Creeper's going out from the third base here, which is interesting. We do see First, looks like he's going to try and take his third base now. A little bit later than we normally see on this map. Well, actually, that's not true. We've just been watching a lot of Puzzle and that style of play.
True.
Where it's just like, no, I'm not going to attack you. I'm just going to harass you and kill you with a Vortex at the end.
He's trying to do some cool tricks with the Micro in this Warp Prism as well, because the Roaches, with that projectile, if they can drop, shoot, and load back up really quick, the Stalkers don't take any damage. But he keeps getting hit by the Zerglings, so it's not doing very much damage. But it is buying time, which is kind of important, because if you look back, his army is rather small. He does have the 2 Immortals, third one popping out now, with a good amount of force field energy. So buying that extra maybe minute or so with the Warp Prism could be the difference in holding this off.
Well, we do see Zerglings coming into the third at the same time. Scarlett is going up into the natural here. She's going to force a cancel on this Nexus. There's no way that First is going to be able to defend that. If she actually attacked with all the Zerglings, why are you killing the pylon? There we go. Changes it up. There's no splash damage here, so that will force the cancel. Very nicely done by Scarlett right there, but we do see, of course, that the Infestation Clip's finishing up as well. Now, First is in a pretty tough spot. He needs to get that third base up and running. He doesn't have the army to outright kill Scarlett like we saw last game. Like, he didn't get that third. He tried to go with his army. He just got crushed for it. But he is going for Robotics Bay now. And Scarlett's already starting to throw down some Spine Crawlers. Really should look at getting a 4th base very shortly, just for that extra gas to come through.
She may have waited a little bit too long to try and switch to the Infestors, because she's nearly maxed out. She's got 52 Roaches, 30 Zerglings, 61 drones, which is actually not a lot for this point in the game. She is playing a more medium economy game instead of going for that really high Roach count and just slam out a bunch of units. But this army is very well equipped to deal with just the Roach Zergling. The Infestors are only just now popping out, but First is applying pressure. He's going to get here before the Infestors pop out. If you can force an engagement somehow before these Fungals are available, this could do a good amount of damage, but he's being too tentative. I don't think he's going to make it over to the third base. These Infestors are going to be out in a few seconds.
Yeah, very true. But he can put some harassment on here with this Warp Prism. He's going to sit on the high ground, out of vision range, warp in some units, as he probably will come into the third base at the same time. Scarlett's got Zerglings heading over to this extra third base again, but there are some cannons there, so she's not going to be able to do much with that. Here we come. The Roaches coming up to the top of that ramp, and that Warp Prism was thrown away. Did he actually get attacked? No.
He canceled the... he switched it out of the phasing mode before they finished warping in for some reason. And he did warp in a good number of Zealots over here at the third base. That's going to be enough to take out most of the Zerglings, buy some time. We'll be able to defend this base. And he has chosen to withdraw the rest of his army, while these Zealots in the main base are, again, killing a lot of Zerglings. Not much else, but they're trading rather effectively, taking out the units. And he does have a Stargate on the way, so it looks like he's going to be moving into that mothership soon. First Colossus is out, second one's on the way. First is doing a good job of transitioning, and a lot of Scarlett's supply is still locked up in these roaches. So she's probably going to be looking to do something with these or just throw a couple away to free up some supply as her Hive Tech finishes up here in a second.
Yeah, but I really feel, there we go, there's a fourth base from First. He needs to find some way to get that extra gas coming in, but it's going to be forced to cancel here. His army's out of position. We've got a lot of Zerglings and a lot of Roaches coming forward. We'll be able to force a cancel on all of that in the middle of the map. Really nicely done by Scarlett, and I like the aggression showing. She's got the double expand going now, does have that Hive Tech finishing up, double Spire on the way, Fleet Beacon as well for here for First, so we're going to be hitting that standard late game composition. More Zealots coming into the main. Oh, he's actually going to be able to target down these Spires if he gets enough time, but nice Fungals coming in, he's not going to have a chance anymore.
He didn't target it down either, he was going after the Spine Crawler. They were just on attack move.
Yeah.
So he wasn't paying close enough attention. That would have been a really big hit if he could kill those Spires. Because the Hive is already done. She waited a little while to build that Spire, so the Broodlords are already delayed, and if he had managed to force her to cancel those, that would be really bad, especially since the Mothership would have been out pretty much right as the Broodlords popped out, which would have been really difficult. But she was able to protect them. She's still sitting at around 170 supplies. She's going to be able to throw a lot of that into the Corruptors, try and get these Broodlords out. But she's going to be forced to use this Roach Infestor to defend. It looks like First wants to apply some pressure because he knows that the Broodlords are still actually a ways away, and he's safe to try and move forward and at least poke. Yeah,
we do have Zerglings coming in to harass this extra fourth base yet again. There's Zealots warped in into the main and at that third base, but there's a lot of Spine Crawlers here now going to thwart all these Roach Zealots. At the same time, we do have Scarlett coming and trying to deal with the army here for First, throwing some Infested Terran down as well. We did see Spine Crawler going to work on a lot of these units at the same time. A lot of these army forces now dwindling here for Scarlett. 13 Corruptors in production right now. Needs some Roaches. There we go. We got 17 Roaches, 30 Zerglings in production now as well. And just needs to buy time. These Spine Crawlers are being picked off, slowing down First. But here come the Corruptors. We've got the Infestors down. Do have quite a bit of energy left. Just needs to wait for those reinforcements to come through. Motherships, of course, on the way here, remember, Realkin. But we got the Corruptors coming in now. And we have Fungals everywhere. This will be able to let Scarlett clean up this army and survive for a little bit longer. But
yeah, that first attack was really smart because he knew that the Broodlords were a while away and he could apply the pressure. But I think continuing attacking here was just a big mistake. Is pretty much all of his army is dead now. Yeah. Now the Mothership is popping out and there's just no supporting units for it. The supply is really close, but the army supply tab shows a completely
We got more Zealots than natural here as well. Sorry, Ruffin. He's killed quite a few drones. Has forced Scarlett to pull actually them all out of the way and coming back here. Oh, he's going to lose an Infestor! Nice Fungal to barely get away. And Scarlett actually stopped the fourth base from going down here at the same time. So we've got a lot of things going on all over the map at the same time. We've got that Warp Prism still being frustrating. Looks like Scarlett's had enough of it. Oh, so close! There we go. Corruptors do finally find it.
Yeah, and the Mothership is now finally out. She's going to start gathering some energy. But like you said, the fourth base has been continually denied by Scarlett. It's been really solid play. And she's going to be able to start moving up to the Broodlords now as well. The problem is that engagement forced her to have to dump all of her mineral bank on Zerglings and Roaches just to make sure that she didn't get caught off guard by some reinforcements. So even though she has the high Corruptor count, she just doesn't have the money to make the Broodlords right now. She's going to start making a few, but she's got the gas just waiting on more mineral income. And her drone count is really low. It was down at 40 at one point, and she's brought it back up to 57. So she's almost back up to 60, but she's still a good 10 workers behind First, which is kind of a tricky situation because it means she's not going to be able to reproduce her army as well. She's finally going to get the Broodlords out. She's not going to be maxed out. She's going to be moving into that late game engagement without having the bank that most Zerg players generally want. So she's going to really need a good engagement, cannot get caught off guard by the Vortex, but there is no Neural Parasite. So she's just going to have to split her army very effectively, and honestly, there's not enough of it to really split. There's only a couple of Broodlords. The Infestor count's pretty low. A good solid Vortex could wreck her right now.
Yeah, that's very true. But as we've seen multiple times, it all comes down to that one Vortex. It can just straight up end the game. We do see First moving out now. He's got that 2-3 upgrades, 3 soon to be shortly done. We got Storm on the way as well. Scarlett hasn't been able to secure a 5th base yet, remember, because she did lose that middle one when it first came through that first time. And It's going to be interesting here. We've got more Colossus on the field. We've only got 3, 4 Archons. There's always one hiding right underneath the mothership whenever I look. Like, every single time. It's absolutely silly. But now, with First taking a 5th base, I think Scarlett's lost her time where she can actually be aggressive now.
They're going to max out at pretty much the same time, which is not really good for Scarlett. She wanted to be able to apply some pressure before First hit 200-200, but they're going to hit 200-200 pretty much the same time. He's going to have that Dark Shrine out as well to go for some late game Dark Templar annoyances, because if you look, there are still 2 Overseers, but sometimes it can be trouble late game. Where are my Overseers? Oh my god. I need detection. Zerglings are coming up into the 4th base, but there's a good number of cannons, so she is actually forced to pull away. That was probably just for a little bit more supply. As she is starting to get closer and closer to the cap, making more Broodlords and Corruptors. She is maxing out pretty much purely on the Roach Infestor Corruptor Broodlord. And there's not that many Roaches left, so she's really banking on that big air army, and she cannot get hit by a Vortex that catches most of these Broodlords, or she's going to be done. Yeah, we are going to have 2 Vortexes ready here for First at the same time. We're going to have some... it's going to come down to how well can she split the Broodlords coming up here. It looks like we're going to have... It's in exactly the same spot, just the position is flipped to that Whale and Seed game. Or it looked like it was going to be there anyway, just up in this section. Hopefully she doesn't attack through the center, because that was the big thing. Like, at this point in the game, moving your army through the center of the map is not a good thing. It's great for mid-game timing attacks, but that narrow, like, choke point is perfect for vortexes and everything. She needs to stay out on the perimeters of the map, which she has been doing so far. So I don't think she's going to get caught like Whale did. Yeah, very true. At the same time, we do see First coming down here to the bottom. He's maxed out right now. Scarlett pretty much maxed out anyway at 187 supply. And it's going to come down to this, because both of them do have 5 bases. Well, Scarlett's pretty much got a 5th base. But that is going to give the advantage to First here. He's going to come forward. He's going to be very careful. We do see this army moving forward. There goes one Storm. One of the Archons getting caught right at the front, instantly popped here. We do see the... Oh, nice feedbacks coming in from First. We got a Vortex on a lot of those Broodlords, but not all of them here. Whoa, she just moved them straight into it. That is not a good idea right there. But she did... She took out all of the Archons, didn't she? No, they were hiding under the mothership yet again. And there we go. Oh, nice Fungal, keeping the Archons out of that army here, but I think it's not going to be enough anyway. The Broodlord is still too clumped up and could not target down the Archons fast enough. We do see a lot of these Stalkers going down, but there was no answer to the Colossus at the back here, and that looks like it is going to be it. Scarlett does not have an answer for this. Another Mothership's already on the way. GG comes out, and First will tie up the series 1-1 as we go into our 3rd match after this quick commercial break.